Well, hi there, and welcome to the Healthy Church Staff Podcast. My name is Todd Rhoades. I'm one of the co-founders over at chemistrystaffing.com. And this week we are taking a special look at difficult people. If you've been in ministry, I always say if you've been in ministry longer than 5 minutes, you've probably encountered at least one difficult person in your ministry. And we're going to talk about that all week. We're going to introduce the topic today, and then the later part of this week, the last 4 episodes, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to take a look at 4 different types of difficult people. So I hope you'll stick with us. If you haven't already subscribe to the podcast so you get each and every episode, Monday through Friday, 5 minutes or less, and geared specifically to help you in your role as a church staff member. Okay, today we're going to start by telling a little bit of a story ripped from the news headlines here within the past month. And it's a story, maybe you heard about it. Hershey, the big candy company, was recently hit with a $5 million by a woman in Florida. Now, it's probably not all that unusual for Hershey to get sued for different things, but this lawsuit struck me as being ludicrous. As I read it, I just thought, really? So here's the crux of the lawsuit. A lady in Florida bought a package, a multi-pack, I think, 6 or 8, come in a pack of the Reese's peanut butter pumpkins over the holiday season. And she was appalled, dismayed, just absolutely flabbergasted at the fact that when she opened up her Reese's peanut butter pumpkin, the peanut butter pumpkin that she was about to eat did not look at all like the peanut butter pumpkin, that's hard to say, peanut butter pumpkin that was on the label. You see, the label, the plastic wrapper, had a picture of a pumpkin that had a face on it. It had triangles and just a regular jack-o'-lantern. And I guess she thought when she opened up the actual peanut butter pumpkin that she was going to eat that it would also have that jack-o'-lantern face on it. But, oh my goodness, it didn't. It was just a piece of chocolate that kind of looked like a pumpkin. So she decided to sue. It cost her $4.49 back in October to buy this package of Reese's peanut butter pumpkins. But she decided, this has got to stop. I am going to sue them. And she finally actually got a lawyer to take the case for $5 million. $5 million. Okay? All right. So here's where I'm going with this. This lawsuit to you may seem absurd and frivolous. It sure does to me. But here's what I want you to take away from this. It illustrates the reality that as church staff members, you face many different types of people. This woman that brought this lawsuit may go to your church. Not everybody is totally rational or reasonable. Matter of fact, some people are irrational and unreasonable and hard to please. And working in a church, if you don't know this, let me tell you some cold, hard truth. It can be challenging and rewarding, but it can also expose you to criticism and to conflict and to complaints from people who have different expectations or different preferences or different opinions than you do. Okay, so it's inevitable. You're going to deal with difficult people. They're in every church. They're everywhere you turn. So how can you deal with that? How can you deal with difficult people or people that just rub you the wrong way? And what I want to do today, just to set the groundwork, is to talk about 4 quick things that you can do as you deal with a difficult person. And the first one, I almost hesitate to say it because if I say it, people are going to say I'm trite. If I don't say it, they're going to say you didn't even take time to pray. So the first thing is pray for that person. And maybe as I've been talking here, someone comes to your mind. You've got this person's picture in your head. Have you prayed for them? Jesus taught us, they might not be our enemy, but he taught us to love our enemies, to pray for those who persecute us, pray for difficult people, and praying for them just can help you to see them maybe in a different way as God sees them, maybe to have a little bit more compassion and grace. So if you haven't, you might even want to hit pause on the podcast now, come back to it, but hit pause on the podcast and maybe just say a quick prayer for the person that you find to be extremely difficult. Okay, so pray for them. Second thing is examine yourself. Before you judge, before you confront somebody else, make sure that you are not the problem, right? Make sure that you don't have a plank in your own eye when your brother just has a speck in his. So examine yourself. Are you contributing to the problem? Are you being unreasonable in any way? Maybe through your prayer, that'll loosen you up a little bit. But examine yourself. Make sure that you're not bringing some of this to the table. And then thirdly, so you pray, you examine, communicate clearly. A lot of times, difficult people and misunderstandings and disagreements can really pretty easily be avoided or resolved just by some communication, some clear and honest communication. Don't assume or guess that someone else knows that what someone else is thinking or feeling, or that they know what you're thinking or feeling. So ask questions, communicate with them, talk to them, listen to them, share your perspective respectfully, but be gentle. But a lot of times we just avoid the person that's difficult because we don't want to deal with them. But if you pray and examine and you communicate, that will really help the situation. Okay, a couple more things and we'll get you out of here for today. Maybe you've prayed and you've examined and you've communicated and it's still, this person's just difficult. Sometimes you just have to set boundaries. So that's the fourth thing. Set boundaries. Sometimes you may just need to limit your interaction with somebody who is toxic, somebody who's decisive. You don't have to agree or accommodate everybody's demands or preferences. And matter of fact, you can say no or refer them to somebody else that can help them maybe a little bit better. But even Paul in the New Testament, in Titus, I believe it is, said to warn a divisive person once or twice and then not to have anything to do with them. Okay, so I'm not saying don't have anything to do with people, difficult people, but I am saying sometimes you have to set some boundaries. And last thing, seek some help. If you're really struggling, if this person is really inside your head and you're just really struggling to deal with a difficult person, maybe they're causing you some undue stress or anxiety or burnout, don't hesitate to seek help from others. You can talk to maybe a friend, a mentor, another staff member, a counselor, anybody that you trust that can help you, that maybe doesn't have a dog in this fight with this person, that can help you. Hey, am I being unreasonable here? Hey, how can I deal with this person? That could really help. Okay, so pray, examine, communicate, set your boundaries if you need to, and seek some help. Okay, I hope that was helpful to you. I hope McDonald's resolves their lawsuit as well. But later on this week, every day, we are going to be looking for the remainder of this week at 4 types of difficult people. You won't want to miss it. Subscribe to the podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can always get those right straight to me just by emailing me at podcast@chemistrystaffing.com. Thanks. We'll see you tomorrow.